Well, hello, we'll see how this goes. I have not done a video with just me. I've done a couple of videos in the past without Dina present, but I've never done one that had just me. When Dina wasn't present, we had some construction workers and contractors and stuff like that that were featured. But this is the outdoors. Dina and I am intending to covering some of this stuff for quite some time, and we just never get around to it. So I thought, you know what? Let's see if we can't tackle some of this right now. So I'm showing you through the fence line some of the back patio just to show you how in designing the backyard and doing decorating for your backyard, if you will, how important it can be sometimes to tie everything together like Dean always talks about in the house. And so here, the outside being tied from front to back, with the side of the house also having some landscaping attention. Not a ton because, you know, it's the side yard, you don't see it as much, but you do want to try to tie things together, at least we think so. So the shutters on the sides here match the shutters on the front and the back. The rock mulch along the side matches what you see in the front and the back. Just enough bushes to kind of keep it, you know, from looking sparse and all that sort of thing. A couple of things I want to note about this, some little helpful tips for you. There's some controversy among some landscaping types about whether or not you should do the rock mulch or the wood mulch. Like this house over here has the wood chip mulch that you normally would see. Here's the rock mulch. I think that the rock mulch, particularly the big chunky bark style, looks better. In my opinion, one of the real advantages is it makes it difficult for the termites and other bugs and critters and stuff to nest and make a home, so it's much better for that. Keeps some of the moisture away from your house, much better. Speaking about keeping critters away from your house, you'll notice up here those vents, those are laundry and or bathroom fan vents, whichever one or both. You notice they have covers on them. Birds do like to sometimes sneak in those and make nests in your house. They can be noisy. There's a reasonably hidden satellite dish. The birds can be noisy, but more importantly, they can leave a mess and bring parasites and stuff into your house. So you do want to keep the birds out of your house. I'm going to walk around the front. I'm not going to talk a lot about the front, but because we're going to do a separate video on that, and Dina's going to talk about the design that was made in deciding how to provide for the look of the outside house, the outside of the house. So one thing you might not have noticed on the side, maybe you'll see it on this side of the house, is the importance of trying to keep the bushes away from touching the house. You want to have at least 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of clearance, if you can, between the where the bushes are. I don't know if you can see through here. Actually, that's a weed that's got to come out. But other than that weed, you'll see that there's a lot of clearance between the bushes and the house. Mice and things like definitely want to keep the bushes away from the house. Now this, you can't see it now. This time of the year it's just green, but it gives a beautiful pop of color in the spring. Vibrant red, pink flowers on this. Provides a surprising shot of color as people are coming around down the road, and if they happen to look down the side of the house, they see a surprising pop of color there. What is this big old thing? You've probably seen these in smaller versions. People use these fake plastic boulders to cover up well pumps or other unsightly things in the front of their yard. In this case, there's a whole house generator there, and they need to be covered, protected from the elements. And how do you do that with something that's going to be big enough, waterproof, watertight enough, and also not look unsightly? And in this case, this is one of the largest fake boulders that they make, and you would never know that that's that there's something under there that's unsightly. And again, if you take it in from the side, you'll notice it just kind of blends and slips right into the landscape. Let's see, I'm going to what else am I missing? I think that covers all the things I want on the side. Now I'm going to show how it all ties in as you continue into the back real quick. So now sliding into the backyard. Again, the rock mulch is there. Goes all the way through. Now you just do a little part of the backyard here. So this tree got rather large when this was probably, one of those typical seedling, sapling type trees, about 4 or 5 feet tall, maybe when it got put in. Now it's enormous. But as you can see, whoever planted this tree did a really nice job, because this is full grown. This is actually end stage. This tree probably doesn't have tons of years of life left in it. And you'll notice that as big as it is, it does not touch the house. It's close, but it doesn't touch. So they did a really nice job. I'm gonna guess that's maybe 20, 25 feet away from the foundation of the house. Really smart planting there. Here's a tree that those who are lost the video signal for half a second. I wonder if it's going to happen again right away, because this is kind of a malformed peach tree. It's malformed because this peach tree is starting to die, and rather than just take it down, decision was made to try to see if the life could be salvaged. And so all the dead branches, no matter which way they were growing, were taken off, and all the live branches, no matter how small or where they are placed, were kept on. And believe it or not, this tree has survived. It looks kind of funky. Maybe over the next couple of years it can start to be shaped again. The problem with the big tall stuff up there being the peach trees is that they can be difficult to get at the peaches. And this is what happens when you don't take real good care of keeping your yard tidy. You'll notice there's a lot of weed overgrowth. The bushes are a little overgrown, looking a little bit out of control. Doesn't look horrible because of the design, but it could look better and more well-kept. So this section of the yard needs a little bit of attention. And here's a really interesting, fun, cool tree. A lesson was learned with this tree. The brace, and I'll start walking back. The brace on that tree, when it was first planted, was kept in place too long. Finally, when it was taken out, it had created a groove, a gouge, if you will, in the trunk of the tree. When a big windstorm came by, a big section of the tree snapped off, and that's really unfortunate. It's cool and interesting and nice looking now. It would be even better, more cool and interesting and nice looking if that hadn't happened. So I had some things I wanted to make sure I touched on. Is that all of them? Oh, the butterfly bushes. You saw them in that one shot. You'll see them here again as we come around to the front and wrap up our video. They add a very nice, wild, but still a rather kept look. One of the things you want to keep in mind with these butterfly bushes, and you'll see it here in a second, when you cut them back in the fall, cut them back aggressively, but not too aggressively. You want to cut them back, maybe 18, 24 inches or so, something like that. But if you cut them back too aggressively, you can lose them. They're pretty darn hardy and resilient, but you can kill them. So be careful about that. The knockout rose bushes, you saw a few in the back next to that tree. Here's a few more here. Cut these back very aggressively. They're very hardily. If you don't cut them back, they get to be huge. And you'll see that in a future video. I think that's about all we want to touch on for this video. Hopefully this went okay, and hopefully Dina's not too upset. I did one without, and I thought I'd give this a shot. This is probably the first video I've done by myself. I'm pretty sure it is, and it'll probably be the last. So this could be the first, last, and only video with just me. So anyway, here I am, I guess, decorating date myself. What does that say about my life? And you can see I'm not worrying about being when there's sun, even in this case, when it's overcast, the sun can still do a number on you. If you're fair skin, if you're light skin, blue eyes, that sort of thing, make sure you cover yourself from sun protection. Anyway, until our next episode, Dina will be in the next one. I promise you, and we'll figure out how to get these out to you a little more regularly than we have of late. It's been a little bit tough with all of the restrictions and mandates, and some people, kind of living fearful lives, not necessarily wanting a whole bunch of people in their house and stuff, even still at this late date. So doing what we can to focus on some of this outdoor stuff in the meantime. Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.